Hey y'all, welcome back to Seven Heaven, the most blessed and highly favored channel on the YouTube. We have another, I don't know that we call it a sad one, but it's a little more serious, y'all. The last time that we left our very own Luigi Mangione, our very own, I guess we claim him because he's from the States and, accused killers and all that. But yeah, Luigi, I think the last video we talked about his time in Hawaii, intelligence operations and that sort of stuff, and he's big on Red Note. So people have been leaving TikTok for Red Note, and it's like a Chinese app that allows you to post short videos. I haven't used it yet. I want to get on Red Note too, but yeah, he's apparently very big on Red Note with memes and all that. And that's kind of it, y'all. That's the extent to which I really know about him, but I will say, or not that I know about Luigi, obviously we talked about it, but that's to the extent of what I know is going on now. He also had oh yeah, the video going around of him talking about how, I have this quote up, how what happened with him was a complete insult to the intelligence of the American people and their lived experience, I think was his exact quote. And that raises a lot of interesting eyebrows, y'all, but today, we're just going to talk about what's going on with Luigi. Interesting. Speaking of an insult to the American people. Now, y'all know cups is normally a water suit, but there's literally flies and stuff crawling into this woman's brain, and you have all these exposed brains. So what is that? And we were just talking about an insult to the intelligence. So it's very, very much an intelligence operation, y'all. Yeah, an insult to the intelligence of the American people. We'll pull some tarot first. Okay, these came out nice and clean. Interesting. The Empress again with the kids. I really just hear something about his mother. Yeah, something about his mother as well. And this bone too, you know that saying of throwing a dog a bone so that it'll get lost on another trail? I think that we're being thrown a bone here. Because remember, Nancy Pelosi is also involved. So it's definitely the throwing of that bone. Y'all? It doesn't get much clearer than that. He's our bone that's being thrown. 100%. And the fool. Literally, we're being fooled. Y'all see the little picnic basket? Except it's the reverse, because I think that people who are apt know that they're not really being fooled. But right side up, we just see this yeah, we're not being fooled by this. Let's go into the true crime deck for a little bit. But yeah, an insult to the intelligence. I think that's kind of one of the bigger things of what this whole thing is about. It's just it's meant to dumb us down, and it's meant to be a distraction. We have this similar to fluoride in the water, we talked a lot about in the fires video. It's a dumbed down distraction, and it is an insult to the intelligence. What do we have, please? Spirits, guides, and angels for Luigi. Wow. And as you hear people always say, justice for Luigi too. I mean, I'm not here to defend or not defend him. We're just doing the reading for the cards as they come out. But it's a bigger problem than the coup that is like this fake death is that they think that we're dumb. And I know it's weird to just say like they, but like there's the powers that be really just think like we have this kind of brain rot in a way, and it's distracting us from something much bigger. It's distracting us from something much bigger with the throwing of that bone. What else do we have, Spirit? What else do we have? Luigi. Concise. Can you give me something concise? Direct, please, Spirit. Y'all know I like to go till the cards just about jump out. See? We talked about his presence on Red Note, too. And y'all, part of me thinks that this was arranged just because... I don't know if it had its intended effect or if the intended effect was supposed to backfire. Like, you just take the model citizen in a way, somebody from a good family. That's so crazy. This is like the exact quote. It's an insult to the intelligence of the American people and their lived experience. Because it's all, I mean, we only hear about this through social media and memes, and there's that accusation of that brain rot there too. Or not the accusation, but the assumption. So it's an intelligence thing. And they really thought justice via social media, like they could crucify him in that way, which is also something that has to do with psy-ops, because it's often believed. Wow. Okay. I mean, it's often believed that we, that they'll achieve something specific through certain intelligence operations, but, it's like, it sometimes it doesn't achieve the desired effect. And I'm going to do a video on the Manson killings as well, because I think they're an interesting example of that. But we're obviously supposed to think something very specific about this. We're supposed to think that. And I think that part of this case, in addition to just being like something that's going to protect Nancy Pelosi from the insider trading trial ever coming to light, but I think it's also just supposed to be like, social media justice, so we get even more used to the idea of someone being crucified by social media, which I also think about Brian Koberger, not that he's innocent, but I do think that it's that idea of, okay, now we just pin this all to the one person. And then, so we have a trial by social media, but it's also just an excuse to constantly surveil. Because, yes, the evidence from surveillance cameras, should this have been like an honest killing, is a real thing. But I think they're trying to normalize constant surveillance of us. And I think that that's a bit weird. And I think it's supposed to drive some things up in AI as well. But I think they took him as kind of a model citizen, someone who came from a good family, but who stood against all those things to kind of turn the public against the anarchist, or turn the public against those speaking against the machine. And it backfired because everybody loves him, And yeah, I really just think, and I find it interesting too, because not that I know necessarily how much he had to do with it, like Elon Musk, but like anytime that I get this pair, I just hear his involvement, because it's that idea of like, okay, now you have all of the big, because of course it turns us against, or it should theoretically turn us against him as a public, but it also is supposed to turn those in the certain positions, CEOs of big developing companies, against anarchists. So now they will no longer use social media as like a justice tool. So instead of like fairness, they turn it against the common man. Not to say Luigi was a common man at all because of his background and things like that, but the court case is being used to turn those in power against the common man, so that they'll use those inventions for kind of higher ups instead. So it's very much a tool. The whole thing was planned, and it's very much a tool you know? And I this is where some of the actual evidence is here. Like, they talk about the gun and things, but it's totally in a landfill. And the hired guy, I mean, it's a cover-up. And then here you have Luigi, who's trapped in prison. So it's like, he, no matter the extent of his involvement, either hired or just threatened by his family to say, you better damn well do this. And then they cover it up. Like, I think that's why he was shouting it's an insult to the intelligence, because he doesn't think that the average person deserves to be kind of thrown that bone, or will even kind of go for it in a way. You know, like, he doesn't think that throwing the bone is gonna work, or that it is working. But yeah, I mean, I think also the space pioneers, just high intelligence tech type of stuff, all this outrage that this was supposed to commit when he did this was gonna get people to let themselves be surveilled more easily, but also just make people desperate to get out and even like be early adapters and all that space mission stuff. I really think all this is connected, because it also is supposed to give people an illusion of end times and like an illusion. And also, y'all, like, think about it. I know this is like, you know, y'all already know the tinfoil hat's on, whatever. I don't even consider myself a conspiracy theorist, but reading in between the lines with the cards is fun. But this is the bone to throw that was going to make a lot of CEOs of those big companies feel endangered enough that they will finance all of the space mission stuff sooner. Like, this was supposed to scare a lot of the men and women in power into feeling like they were trapped as well. Like, they're trapped here on Earth where people hate that big money, so go start over somewhere. So not only do we have like these people who are, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's like some kind of background investments about this, but you have people that are like, oh no, if everyone down here like hates the power imbalance, we might as well go to Mars. So it's supposed to be speeding up. It's supposed to be speeding up like this mission to Mars, in addition to covering up Nancy Pelosi's involvement in insider trading that Brian Thompson was supposed to squeal on. There's also a major push, that's what I'm hearing, is like, oh, this is gonna push the space mission. This is gonna push people with the money to go to space to want to get out of here faster. Because, I mean, there's a lot of things going on that have made people think, oh, I just want to leave Earth altogether. But no, I think this is one of those incidents that was like similar to how the theory of the Manson killings was supposed to be like a race war or whatever, you know? Like, I think that part of this is because they wanted people in power to be afraid so that they wouldn't want to stay here. Like, they can accelerate the moving to Mars. Weird, y'all, but it's all an intelligence thing. And you know, we've had other readings on this too, so you don't have to cover the bases as much in this one, but it comes down to intelligence. It comes down to intelligence. And interesting too, the King of Cups fell out, so a lot of Cups energy, which is part Scorpionic in that transformation. But what do we have here? We have a man on a boat, like holding that cup. So what's that the idea of? Travel, going on a mission somewhere. So it's inciting anger to speed up the Mars mission. And the Knight of Cups as well, which is again like this conquistador looking dude. See, this is supporting that. We have two dudes ready to travel, and those are the only cards that came out here. Two dudes ready to travel. So this is really like, this is getting everyone, it's supposed to help get everyone to space, among other things. Like, and you know, and whenever something is a psy-op, they use multiple things, but this is getting them to space, y'all. And y'all know I can do unlimited like videos like this. Let's just get one more if we can. Spirits, guides, angels, can you give us one clear, concise card to close out with? Oh, we got two. Man-made disaster. Y'all already see, it's crazy. It's a man-made disaster that's supposed to incite people. And it plays on the heartstrings, too. Because also, all the little girlies that like him, you know, your name's gonna go on a list if you look him up enough, if you write him. They look after people like that, y'all. So keep in mind that the intelligence plot, because we covered the basis of this in other videos, but the intelligence plot part, what I started the video with and his talking about how it's an insult to the intelligence of the American people, that part, there's like space money behind that. There's a space intention behind it. And beyond covering up for Nancy Pelosi, it's all with this idea of like, okay, we want to scare the bigwigs up enough that they don't feel safe, so that starts people out to want to branch out, y'all. And what do we have here? Interesting. And they're close to achieving that goal, y'all. And what do we have is this little Taurus on the moon. Your dreams need a practical plan. So whose dream is it to go to the moon? Elon Musk and all those outer space people. And how do they make a practical plan? Well, if you make Earth crazy enough, then of course people want to go to the moon like it's nothing, y'all. So that's that's the read on this today. That they're pushing this. Don't be afraid, or don't be surprised if we see more kind of copycat cases of this, because I think this was a long time coming. They had a lot of intelligence things they were trying to do with this, similar to the TikTok ban, and maybe I'll do a video on that, but don't be surprised at all, y'all, if you just see now like a bigger push for us to get to space faster. Play it on fear. So I'm going to end it there, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to who requested this video. Comment, like, subscribe, share, book a personal reading. I love y'all so very much, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.